Hello, CC of Middleburg Tutors. This is your tutorial for week 13 Fine Arts, and we are starting our segment for great artists. So all of your resources for this segment are going to be found in your Great Artists book. For week 13, we're going to be on page 12, and we're going to be studying Giotto. Giotto is an Italian artist who was famous for using natural ingredients in order to create paints. Most famously using egg yolks and water to create a tempera paint. And so, as we do in the Fine Artist segment, we are not focused on creating masterpieces. We are just focused on being able to replicate some aspect of what this great artist may have done. And so for Giotto, we are actually replicating his creation of egg yolk tempera paint. So you have your Great Artist's Guide, and what we're going to be working on is a picture of St. Paul. This is printed on cardstock, and this paper will work just fine. So each student is going to have this picture of St. Paul, and we're going to be creating our egg yolk tempera paint using egg yolk and water and these soft chalk pastels. So each class is going to have just a few different colors of the pastels to work with that the kids can share, and I'll kind of explain that to you in a minute. So your procedures tell you that what you need are egg yolks. So each of you in class are going to get a container with egg yolks already in them so that you don't have to actually crack the eggs in class. So this will come in a sealed container for you. You're going to need water and a teaspoon for measuring. You will receive a bowl with a little bite-sized piece of the chalk pastels in it. Not gray, because this is not a pretty color, but I was using a color that you guys would probably not need to use, so I didn't waste it. We are going to need something to be able to mash up the chalk because we're supposed to grind it. So our instructions tell us to use like a rock or a stick, which probably would be really cool for the kids to do. It is nighttime here, so I did not go outside to try to find a rock or a stick, so I used a spoon, which actually worked really well. So I definitely will provide you guys with enough spoons to be able to let the kids grind these up. But if we are able to find some rocks, I think that would be really cool to let them try to use those, since that's probably more of what Giotto would have had at the time. So I started this one already with a black, so you can kind of see on his hair and beard where I started some black already, and the paint is supposed to dry pretty quickly. So hopefully by the end of the day, these will be ready for the kids to take home. It does definitely have some texture to it because you can still see like the graininess of the chalk, so that's kind of cool. These originally probably would have been done on wood, which is what our little guidebook tells us. Of course, we couldn't gather up enough wood to be able to replicate that aspect of it, but this should serve us pretty well. So this is what the paint mixture looks like after it's been mixed up. I don't know if you guys can see that in the video here. It's pretty runny. I ended up adding about 2 spoonfuls of the egg mixture to get this black consistency. I have been told that some of the brighter colors will show up a little bit better, and that's probably what we're going to be using in class. But again, I just wanted to use some colors that we probably would not use. So I got it started, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of run through how you would actually do this in class so that we are all on the same page. So again, I'm going to have several bowls for you guys of different colors. This one color will probably be enough for you to disperse amongst different kids. So we'll probably make sure that you have enough to where you can do like 2 or 3 stations of colors at the table so the kids can share those. So I have a little piece of gray, soft chalk pastel, and what I found is that pressing on it with the bottom of the spoon actually helped to grind it up the easiest. I was kind of pounding on it and pressing into it, and this one doesn't want to move at all. So it's kind of hard to break up at first, but then once you get it broken up into smaller pieces, then you can take those smaller pieces and press on it with the bottom of the spoon. So I'm going to bang on this for just a minute. Okay, I have a couple small pieces here, so I can probably press into them now. So hopefully you can kind of see the stage that I'm at right now. So I have a couple big chunks, but I've broken it up a little bit, and then I'm using the bottom of the spoon to press into that, which kind of takes a lot of pressure. You guys might have to help the kids with this, but I thought it would be fun for them to be able to experience this process instead of doing it ahead of time. So we're going to go ahead and let them try to do this on their own. So now that I've got it in smaller pieces, it's really, really easy to grind it up. So I'm just going to do that a little bit more. I'm not going to get it super, super small just for the sake of time with you guys right now. But in class, you may want to get it a little bit finer if you have the time. So I'm probably going to give you guys like 3 or 4 different colors to work with. So you'll want to have several different kids helping with those colors, and then once the colors are made, you can kind of separate them out into different cups for them to be able to share those. Okay, so this one's pretty well ground up. You can kind of see the mixture there. What we started with in this was 2 egg yolks. Our instructions tell us to mix 2 teaspoons of water to each egg yolk. So I actually added 4 teaspoons of water into this. And then you take a fork and stir it all in and get it nice and kind of whipped up until the whole thing is yellowy and you don't see very much separation between the yolk and the water. And then what you do is you just add spoonfuls at a time to the chalk until you feel like you're getting a good consistency. So when I made mine, I did 2 spoonfuls, and I don't know if you can see this again, but it's all completely separated. So we really have to kind of work at it to blend it in. So we're going to have these wooden stir sticks, and this is another thing that the kids will probably enjoy being able to do. Hopefully we won't make too big of messes, but all we have to do is kind of work at it for a little bit and it starts to blend. So basically 2 spoonfuls seems to be a really good consistency for the amount of chalk that I put in these bowls. But I will probably give you guys about double the amount of that chalk because you're going to need more paint than I needed here for just one picture. So I would assume that you're going to want to start with like 3 spoonfuls and stir it, and then maybe add a 4th if it feels like it needs it for each color. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now because, again, I don't want this to take too much time. But this is our consistency now. This is a grayish paint. The egg yolk is definitely going to change the color of the paint a little bit, and that's totally fine. So each kid is going to have 1 paintbrush and a cup of water so that they can rinse out their brush to go between the different colors. So again, we're going to start off in a bowl like this, probably about double what I have here, and then I'm going to have some little cups like this, and you guys can pretty much just pour paint into the cups so that we can set out the different colors in smaller sections in front of like 2 or 3 kids to share. So they've got their brush, they can dip it in their water and change out the colors if they need to. So this is the paint that we have now, and then from there you're just going to let them paint like normal. So my brush still had a little black on it, but basically, you know, you just dip it in. They can paint whatever part of the picture they want. Hopefully they'll have time to get the whole thing done, and they can use whatever color scheme that they want. I think that the original picture that I saw of this had a lot of blue and gold and some really good vibrant colors. So I'm going to try to make sure that I include that for you guys in the colors that I give you. But they will be able to arrange those colors however they want. You guys won't necessarily have one of these on your own, you know, to show the kids as an example, like we've kind of done in the past for some of the artwork. So you'll really just have to explain to them what the idea is, and then just let them have at it, because they can be creative and do whatever they want. So I'm not going to finish this whole thing, but basically you can see where I started to color the ring with the light gray. And again, you guys are going to have brighter colors, but hopefully you will have enough time to give a little bit of background on Giotto, explain the process of what we're doing, and actually do all of the mixing up, since that's a lot of fun, and then allow the kids to paint their picture and then set these aside somewhere where they can dry. I am going to send you guys a file, a PDF file that I found online that is a little snippet of all of the great artists. You probably can't see this, but I'm going to email this to you guys. I'll kind of bring it in closer. Anyway, this is a PDF form, and what it does is it goes through each of the artists and gives some samples of their work and gives you a little bit more background information. So this is something great that you guys can look at ahead of time to educate yourselves a little bit more and not have to research it on your own since it's already put together, but also to either print out or bring it on some kind of device that you might have in order for you to be able to read a little bit more about Giotto to the kids while they're doing their project. All right, so that should be everything for week 13, Giotto, with our egg yolk temper paint. Thanks.